Do you have a family member who's getting older and can no longer be safely left alone? Visiting Angels, America's choice in senior home care, assists senior citizens and adults to continue living at home and not have to move into a nursing home. Visiting Angels has over 400 franchised locations across the nation. Experienced, compassionate caregivers provide assistance in hygiene, meal preparation, and light housework up to 24 hours a day. Rates are affordable, and you can select your caregiver before service begins. Visiting Angels has cared for hundreds of thousands of seniors nationwide. Franchises are available. Call Visiting Angels toll-free today at 877-374-LIVE. To find an office near you, visit www.visitingangels.com. For home care for your loved ones, call Visiting Angels now at 877-374-LIVE. That's Visiting Angels, America's choice in home care at 877-374-LIVE.
Attention timeshare owners, did you just get your annual maintenance fee bill? Are you waiting for it? Can't afford to pay it? Don't want to pay it? Then don't pay it until you talk to us right now at 888-888-7923. We can put your timeshare into closing today. Over the last 5 years, we've helped tens of thousands of timeshare owners escape ridiculous maintenance fees, assessment fees, and even mortgage payments. We're here to give you a free evaluation of your timeshare 7 days a week. Don't wait. Call 888-888-7923 right now to see if your timeshare qualifies. That's 888-888-7923. We have a 100% guarantee, and we are A-rated by the Better Business Bureau for your peace of mind. Times are tough. Call us right now for your free evaluation at 888-888-7923. That's 888-888-7923. We want your timeshare today. Direct Transfers customers are direct and through affiliates. Not all timeshares qualify. Contact Direct Transfers for details.
You're listening to Think Tech Hawaii with your host, Jay Fidel.
Okay. Welcome back to Think Tech. Raising awareness on KGU 760 AM all across the islands. Today, December 29th. It's getting close. I'm Jay Fidel, and I love to raise public awareness all across the islands on tech, energy, diversification, and globalism. So today on Think Tech, we're going to talk about how did we do on our favorite TV series, Hawaii State of Clean Energy, with our guests, Linda Brock, TV producer for Hawaii News Now, and Sharon Moriwaki, co-chair of the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum. Linda, say hi to our listeners.
Hi, everybody. How are you? And Happy New Year.
Sharon, say hi.
Aloha, and Happy New Year, too.
So here on Think Tech, we talk about business on Mondays, Asia on Tuesdays, tech on Wednesdays, the arts on Thursdays, and government on Fridays. We're here for you every business day. Our show today is brought to you by the Hawaii Academy of Science, 1013 Integrated, IDEA, Never Been Easier, Arkanoetics, the Hawaii Convention Center, and InMobi, one of Kevin Yu's greatest projects, a national tech company. Hawaii News Now and the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum just got finished playing a series of TV shows on energy. It was named Hawaii State of Clean Energy. There were 6 shows, and they were intended to show the public things it did not know about the development of the Clean Energy Initiative and the clean energy industry in Hawaii. We're delighted and honored to have with us here today in the studio Linda Brock, a seasoned and well-known TV producer in Hawaii who produced the series, and Sharon Moriwaki, co-chair of the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum, a leader in the energy community who organized and arranged for the sponsorship of that series in the first place. So this is an important topic. This deals with the challenge facing Hawaii. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is Hawaii's greatest test in our lifetimes. Are we going to belly up to energy, or are we going to lose it? And this series somehow, to me, is right there at that intersection. So let's start by talking about what it looks like. How did the series come about? How did it get organized, designed, and produced? And let's take a kind of retrospective on how did it go. Linda, how did it go?
Well, I think the verdict's still out, but I think we gave it a really good effort, and the feedback that we've had from some of the education community and some policymakers is that this was an important step. People today have so much in front of them in their lives, and especially what we've all been through in the past few years with the economy, that somehow this gets pushed on a back burner. People think this is something we have to learn about or become aware of or act upon in years to come. They hear that 2030 year tied to the Hawaii Clean Energy Initiative. And, I think it was important to let people know this starts today. This started before today. I mean, this is something we work on now. 2030 is just a milestone, just a goal. And I think, I think I was like most people. I had, a very superficial knowledge of this subject. And that actually helped me see it through the eyes of a television audience versus the people who are surrounding me who know it inside and out. And, it's just second nature to them. So I think we took an important step in laying down a foundation of what exactly we're going to need to reach these goals and why this is urgent, why this isn't about 20 years from now or the next generation. This is very much about today.
Well, as far as the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum is concerned, Sharon, how did it go?
I think it went very well. The Policy Forum is a group of policy wonks. They're
That's what
advocates.
It's all about. It's their middle name, actually.
And we really came together because there was need for research and pulling that research into action. But part of the problem was not really educating the public, that this really is all about how we live our lives and what are the kinds of policies we put in place to help people and encourage people to do that. So with a partnership with Hawaii Dunes Now, and especially Linda, who has a real good feel for what the audience and people really want to know, and in human terms, we were able to translate a lot of the technological, sometimes mumbo jumbo, and policies that are very specific into what it means for people. So I think that the people that I talked to who have seen the movies were very impressed with not only the content and format, because it was jam-packed every minute that we had, but also that it meant something to them. They could see it in real life terms. They could see people just like them learning about energy efficiency in the audit or taking the bus or not, from all the way to what kinds of new developments. So we were very pleased that with the work that was done, which is outstanding, and the audience, what we understand is that just because it just followed the news and the anchor, Terry Okita as the anchor, it really was able to get at least 70% or 80% of the viewing audience to stay on, which is about over 200,000 households. So really that was our intent, is to educate the public.
So if somebody out there listening has any questions, they should definitely call us. We're here at 296-5467. That's 296-5467. And they can ask a real live television producer any question about how you produce a television program. And they can ask one of the leaders of our energy industry how things are going. So that's important. Let me say it again, 296-5467. By the way, if they wanted to watch this series again, Linda, where would they go?
Well, they would go to the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum website, and all 6 of the shows are available to view there in their entirety without commercial interruption.
Oh, that's
and
great.
Permanently.
Good for you, Sharon, that you put it up there and you put the link. It's great because it should stay there for a long time. But, this reminds me of Passover, the holiday of Passover. You probably want to know why. Because in the holiday of Passover, we ask this question. Every year we ask, why is this night different from all other nights? It's really a profound question. And so I say to you, Linda, why is this show different from all other shows? Tell me now.
Well, I don't think it's the show, it's the topic. The show was simply the vehicle that brought the information forward. The topic is probably the biggest challenge that will face Hawaii. And I didn't realize that till I became entrenched in this, but I don't think most people realize, although there is awareness building, that, we talk about having this deficit in terms of our state budget, but billions, 8, 9, and probably now with the price of oil going up, over $10 billion will leave our local economy this year to go pay for oil from foreign lands. And that, can you think about what we could do with that money and the kind of initiatives and the kind of infrastructure? People talk about how much it's going to cost to develop. This is all about technology and policy and financing, and who's going to pay for it. The other question should be, how will we pay for it if we don't do it? It will be devastating to our local economy and our ability to do anything other than pay our oil bills, and our pay for our energy. So I think that's what makes this so important. But it's not all bad news. This is about turning vulnerability into opportunity and being a one-of-a-kind place in the world, and setting an example that that only we can really set. I mean, because we have this vulnerability, we also are blessed with an environment that provides us opportunities for renewable energy, and so we can turn this around. And even though there's no blueprint, there's no directions enclosed. But that's what makes it exciting, and it's something that we can always point to with a great deal of pride. So it's not, the glass is not half empty. The glass is also half full. And I mean, that sounds corny, but so to answer your question, these shows were not anything special. The topic is very, very important, and I feel like I was honored. I know that Rick Blangiardi, the president and general manager of Hawaii Now, and Cheryl Onsi, Mark Platt, the news director, Cheryl is the general sales manager, and I know Terry Okita, and all of the production staff that worked on this. We all learned a lot. We're all proud of it, and I think it was an important 3 hours of television.
Yeah.
Listen to you. You've been evangelized.
Oh, yes. Yes. I've turned into an energy geek.
Energy expert.
I was going to answer my own question. I want your answer too, Sharon, but I was going to answer my own question by saying that a lot of the news we get, including from all the media, is really headlines, 6 o'clock, superficial. Mm-hmm. This is not superficial, because this is complex stuff. You don't realize it. I'm sure you went through, and we'll talk about this some more later, you went through a kind of transitional experience. You get in there thinking, well, it's not that complicated. And then you learn all of these technical and societal issues, and you realize it's very complicated, and it reaches into every part of our lives, our industry, our government, our social networks. It is everything around us. And so then you become evangelized.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's exactly right. And I have you folks to thank for that. No, but actually, because of this, I was given an opportunity to interview the people who have a lot of the bright ideas and a lot of the answers and a lot of the challenges ahead of them. And that was a great education. That was a great opportunity. And the goal was to try to transfer that in each one of these shows to the viewing public, for them to get some sort of idea so they could start connecting the dots in their mind and realize this is a huge picture. This is a complex issue. I think when you feel like you don't have any power over something, that's when you try to just dismiss it.
Sure.
You don't even want to think about it. So it is about engagement, and it is about giving the kind of information so people can make their own decisions about how they feel and how they want to proceed and what they want their leadership to do. And that's what the goals this year. That were the goals of the show. Right, Sharon?
That's right.
Sharon, what do you
That's
think?
Right. Well, I think that
Sharon, hold that thought.
okay.
Because what we're going to do now is we're going to take a short break for some really interesting messages so you can think through your answer, okay? We're here with Linda Brock and Sharon Moriwaki, and we're talking about the TV series Hawaii, the State of Clean Energy. Stay on the dial. We'll be right back.
Hawaii's Business Authority.
We don't have any major problems on any of our major roads, but we do have some slow traffic. On the H1, townbound from the west, right after Ola Lane, it slows down and then continues through the downtown area. If you're going west, though, it looks great. No slowdowns on either freeway on the way out to the stadium, where we usually have slowdowns. Also, no problems to the windward side, and we're looking good to Hawaii Kai.
The holidays mark this Season of Reason sales event at Acura of Honolulu. See the entire new lineup of 2012 Acuras, including the newly arrived 2012 TSX Special Edition and MDX, and take advantage of exceptional specials on all the new Acuras in stock. Get rates as low as 0.9% APR available on every model in the Acura lineup, or take advantage of tremendous lease specials starting at $299 per month for the Feature Pack 2012 TSX. The new 2012 Special Edition TSX is the hot new member of the Acura family. It's turning heads all over town. A complete lineup of beautiful certified pre-owned Acuras also awaits you. An unheard of selection of the finest low miles TSX and TLs are ripe for the picking, and the certified pre-owned TLs offer rates as low as 1.9%. This is your greatest opportunity of the year to get a low miles Acura below market value and start your holidays off right. The reasons are clear and the season is now, so visit us right away at 777 Ala Moana Boulevard or at AcuraHonolulu.com. More than ever, choosing an Acura just makes sense.
ThinkTech Radio is sponsored by the Hawaii Academy of Science, supporting science and education in Hawaii since 1925. For half a century, the Hawaii Academy of Science has run the Hawaii State Science and Engineering Fair, an annual competition that encourages over 7,000 middle and high school students from across the state in both public and private schools to love science. The nonprofit Academy also supports the Pacific Symposium for Science and Sustainability and Science Cafe. For more information about the Hawaii Academy of Science, visit hawaii.edu and search for Academy of Science. From brand strategy to creative services, production to post-production, 1013 Integrated is Hawaii's leading full-service branding and production company. They're focused on creating branded content and entertainment for any format or budget. So whether it's creating, executing, or helping to build your company's brand, they can provide the experience, consistency, and efficiency to make it happen from start to finish. Check them out at 1013integrated.com or on Facebook at 1013 Integrated.
You're listening to Think Tech Hawaii with your host, Jay Fidel.
Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Think Tech on KGU 760 AM, the Wall Street Radio Network. I'm Jay Fidel. Tonight we're talking about how did we do in our favorite TV series, Hawaii, the State of Clean Energy, with our guests Linda Brock, TV producer for Hawaii News Now, and Sharon Moriwaki, co-chair of the Hawaii Energy Policy Forum. So to continue where we left off before that break, Sharon, you were about to tell us why this night is different from all other nights and why this show, this series, is different from all other series.
Well, the Policy Forum did a show maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and it was an hour show, and we jam-packed it with information as well. But this night is different because we took, and thanks to Hawaii News Now, Rick and his team, and Linda, we took 6 shows that were all very complex issues and a lot going on, but we were able to drill down, we were able to make it human, we were able to interview quite a few people and jam-pack each session, but we had it over time, so we took chunks of it. And I think it was different because of that and the human interest in each of these areas. They're very complicated, very, very hard to get your hands around and mind around. So I think that was very different. And going with Linda and some of the shoots, I mean, it really was a learning experience.
You want to talk about that? I really I admire that.
It was fun.
I admire that, and I wish I was there. So tell us about Trekking Around with Linda.
Oh,
that could be the title of our show, Trekking Around with Linda.
It was fun, and it was very hectic because she treks around fast.
So well, this gets to the question about...
We found ourselves in the middle of a jatropha field,
yes, that's right.
on the Big Island,
right.
you know?
And the algae, and then we had some runs in, and I learned about how news gets to be news, and how you really need to delve into some of these issues. Yeah. One of the things I really learned is that Linda is real professional. She lets you talk, she makes you feel comfortable, but can crystallize then the real important aspects of the issue being considered. So I think we really got our money's worth with her terrific sense of how to put it together. And she had a really good crew.
Definitely.
So we always had the right lighting for it. When we did the show before, it was on budget, so people look yellow or green. So
they do have color correction.
That's right. Professionally done. So I was so impressed, and the sound was great, and just how the storyline put together so much information in a very interesting way, and I had very good feedback from those who saw it.
I'm tossed whether to ask you about the technicals or the research, but let's ask you about the research first, because you can't produce a show like this unless you know what you're talking about.
Or who does know what they're talking about. You folks actually, the forum actually laid out what the topics would be for the 6 shows. And just briefly, the first show was an overview.
Before you get too far in,
yes.
I just want to tell everybody that they can ask you questions and put you on the spot. That you're ready for that, right, Linda? Right, Sharon?
Of course, yes.
They can call in at 296-5467 and learn how to be a TV producer, okay? 296-5467. Okay, tell us about the episodes.
Well, there were 6 shows, and the first show was an overview where we really only talked to 4 people. We talked to the commanding officer at the Kaneohe Marine Corps Base, Hawaii, at the time, Colonel Robert Rice, who had just done unbelievable things on that base. When he arrived, he told us his electric bill, and this was maybe 4 or 5 years ago, was more than 35% of his total budget to run the base. I can't even. So he immediately did things that he admitted couldn't have been done in the private sector. He just ordered, and if his staff said, well, that's going to take this long, he cut it in half. And, he attacked it from all angles. And they were doing beta testing out there with the buoy technology and what he has a whole fleet of hybrids and EVs. And, he even taught the people, the people who live on the base and have never paid an electric bill before. He came up with his own plan to reward them if they were within a certain range of usage, and to have them pay for any overage. So he was just so refreshing. We also talked to Hanani Trask. Mm-hmm. Who had issues with geothermal and some of the areas on this subject.
Mililani.
I'm sorry. Excuse me, Mililani Trask. And she has done a turnaround and has been really a leader within the Hawaiian community in raising awareness. We talked to Darren Kimura, who's president and CEO of Sopaji, and he's been on this for a long time. He's seen Hawaii make progress and then forget about it. He talks about the gas lines and the gas shortage of the 70s, and that was really our first Hawaii Clean Energy Initiative. He's just wonderful. And Robbie Aum, who gave us the perspective of Hawaiian Electric Company and their role in all of this. And from that show, we went on and we did a show on the green economy and green jobs and how we're doing with training and how this economy itself will, create another job base and what needs to be done. We also did a show on transportation. People think that their at-home electricity use is the key here. Transportation is actually the largest component of the Hawaii Clean Energy Initiative. And that's, to turn that around is going to be, the hybrids, the EVs, the hydrogen technology, public transportation, rail, the conversion of our bus fleet on Oahu from, 70 or 80 hybrids to more, and again, hydrogen technology. So transportation was a huge show. That could have been a series all in itself.
Maybe it will be.
And we did have a setback, because of the tsunami and some other production issues. The there was a greater demand for the EVs initially than they could fulfill, but you're starting to see advertising that some of that is turning around. Then we did a show on conservation, and this is where we actually went into people's homes, where organizations like Kanu Hawaii and Hawaii Energy had taught people how to monitor their usage and how to go around and measure their appliances to see which ones they needed to replace because they were old and malfunctioning and using up too much electricity. That was one of my favorite shows because you could see the look on people's faces when they saw, not only does their range take 20 minutes to heat up, maybe that is, causing my electric bill to go up. And so that was great. And then we did a show on food and fuel and the relationship, getting into all the biofuels and biomass. And
that's pretty edgy.
And that took us to, Monsanto and some of the more controversial research areas in agriculture. But we also discovered a gentleman on the Big Island, Dr. Gonzalez, who is the man who basically saved the papaya industry here, and he has his own ideas about how the role that agriculture can play in all this, and he's very humble about it, but he's also, you talked about how I became this zealot. I mean, it's talking to people like him that you realize, everybody can be part of this. And, the ag business has had its ups and downs, but there's opportunities now to turn this around. And he really looks at it. He's a plantation boy. He was raised on the plantation above Kohala, and, it hurts him to see farmers suffering. So, that was a huge surprise, that show. And then our final show was where we really explored the technologies of geothermal, wind, and solar, the ones that are contributing to the grid system now, and
distribution.
And
how do you get?
Yeah, go ahead, Sharon. Go ahead.
And how you get those
You were there,
resources.
Sharon, so
Yes.
let's hear your input on this.
How do you get those resources so that we share as a state the resources and the distribution system, whether it's a cable and what it means for the neighbor islands and for Oahu. So it was very interesting to see the different perspectives, and we heard all the perspectives and aired them as well. So again, the show is not to say there's one side or one answer, but it's to show people that there are many perspectives and have them involved enough to find out more and to get to the point of understanding what the issues are.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily to sell anything, but to give a report of a landscape that was very complex, both technically, technologically, and also socially, which is the nature of the beast in Hawaii.
and again, going back to what is so different, it was really nice to have a partner with Hawaii News Now, so that actually there were questions and it was a newsy kind of thing, and not just
speaking
a
of
script.
news, we're going to take a break. This is Think Tech Hawaii taking a break. And we're going to have Sharon Moriwaki come back right after this break and finish her sentence. Stay with us.
You know what?
Hawaii's Business Authority.
No problems on any of our major roads. Traffic looks good for the afternoon commute. Going west, no problem on either the H1 or on the Moanalua on the way to Waiea. Do have some heavy traffic and some slow stretches on the H1 through Pearl City until you get past the Pearl City Waimalu exit. Inbound traffic on the H1 slows at the Bishop Museum. No problems to the windward side or to Hawaii Kai.
Air freight is a very important part of business. You expect shipping to be simple and safe, right? At DHX Dependable Hawaiian Express, we understand. That's why we offer DAX, Dependable Air Cargo Express. Our experts can arrange your air cargo shipment to or from anywhere in the world. It's easy, safe, and secure. Contact your local DHX Dependable Hawaiian Express office or call DAX at 1-800-700-3858. It's shipping that's dependable from start to finish.